Cancers, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for November 28th through the 4th of December 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky. If you are new, be sure to check out the link down below, because the signs are different, which means your sign might be different, and you'll want to watch this for the right sign. All right, so Cancers, this week, another eventful week at the end of November. And kicking things off, we have a new moon right around Tuesday. So this is another time of new beginnings, and I think it's an excellent week for planting new seeds, particularly the first half of just kind of listening and seeing what comes your way, and maybe actualizing some of those things as we go into the following weeks. Now, this is all in regards to your fifth house of self-expression. So this has been a quite serious area for you, I think, with Saturn in the fifth. It's been good for you to take seriously the self-expression and the long-term approach to you enjoying your interests or hobbies or creative things or passionate things, things that are close to the heart. But with Saturn, it does take time, and I think a bit of discipline, patience, and responsibility when it comes to what you're expressing and creating. So with that perspective, I think it's an excellent week to set new intentions, start some new things there regarding anything close to the heart or generally your self-expression. Now, right around that same time, Mercury is going to start to shift into your sixth house. So also a good time to see how things might be shifting towards your self-improvement. Maybe it's your routine. Maybe it's your work life. Whatever it is, Venus here has been helping you enjoy a bit of that day-to-day stuff. Pluto's been here helping you transform this day-to-day stuff on a much larger scale. But now that Mercury's coming in here, I think your mind will probably be more in regards to how you can improve things, how you can improve your life, improve yourself, and maybe develop your work as well. And it's a good mental aptitude for the work and for anything else that does require that day-to-day mind. You could even find, too, there might be a bit of tranquility coming into the everyday experiences as well, which is Mercury, who rules the 12th. Now, around that same time, Venus, who is in the 6th, will be squaring up to Uranus this first half of the week. So a bit of patience if you're feeling like wanting to break through from the routine, maybe in regards to home life, maybe with your health, maybe in regards to your aspirations or group matters, which are all the areas Venus rules. Whatever it is, sort of taking a step back and examining it from a place of presence. Right, from a bit of a distance. Otherwise, with the square from Uranus, we can be a bit impulsive, might want to make some rash decisions, some rash choices, but it's very important that we are present with it, right? And we listen. And what we're really listening to here with Uranus is, yes, there is something that is calling us for us to have more freedom. And it might specifically have to do with your work, with your routine, with your aspirations, with your groups stuff, with the home or health, okay? But listening to it and then implementing it one step at a time, very slowly and grounded, is a great way of working with that. You may even feel like just expanding your horizons. Uranus in your 9th house has been showing you the beauty of adventurousness, possibilities, and potentials. But again, with the square, we do want to stay nice and grounded with that. And you could even feel maybe some healing taking place in regards to that, because Venus will be sextiling up to Chiron around this Tuesday, Wednesday time period. So maybe some rejuvenation and some healing to those areas as well. So as you can see here in the transit graph, this is the first half of the week. Everything we talked about, it's definitely the lower energy time. Your ruler, the moon, whenever it's in a new moon phase, it is this lower energy time to reflect and just kind of listen. But then as we start to get into about here midweek, first of all, Chiron goes station direct, so you might feel a bit of, again, rejuvenation and healing from whatever this more subtle stuff was or internal stuff was earlier in the week into, I think, a very motivating and very inspiring second half of the week. And this is particularly seen by Mars trining up to Jupiter. Okay, so this is a bit of inspiration, a bit of motivation. I think a lot of it has to do with relationships on one hand. You've had Mars in your 7th house really helping you express yourself in relationships more, be direct in relationships, perhaps understand more about what you enjoy in relationships, what are your personal needs in those one-to-one connections. And so with the trine from Jupiter, a lot of positive support going into that house where you could be feeling inspired there, maybe motivated. And I think it's an excellent second half of the week to utilize that motivation to actually implement whatever it is you're guided to implement or do that is inspiring, is motivating there, involving relationships. Now, it's also involving your self-expression. Mars rules at 5th. Again, it's all part of these new beginnings as well. I think things are continuing with that self-expression. You'll probably notice by the second half of the week more so than the first half because it's still subtle. But yeah, self-expression, very good for that. Creative, whatever the medium might be. And hobbies, interests, anything close to the heart. Really good time for that. Also your career, Mars rules your 10th. So maybe some inspiration about that the second half. And I do want to say that, with the Jupiter trines, it comes across as quite easy. And so sometimes we might feel comfortable and, be like, we'll get to that next week. Or, it's an important time not to rest on our laurels, and to actually use that inspiration or use that motivation if you are feeling it. Because a lot of positive things can come from that. And this has really been a Jupiter in your 3rd house helping you learn a lot. And that's really the gist of where this is all coming from. It's like the more open-minded you are, the more you're willing to learn, share ideas. Maybe it's through reading books. Maybe it's sharing it through writing books. Communication, there's a lot to learn about that. And so, yeah, the mental mind and the practical mind has this boost of Jupiter, helping you see potentials, helping you really get into the exchanging and synergizing and fundamentally learning side to life. And I think with that openness to learn, I think that's very supportive to those key areas that I mentioned. And right after that, very nicely, Mars then sextiles up to Saturn, giving those relationships and all this a sort of opportunity to bring in this newfound sense of responsibility with the self-expression, with the fun, with the playfulness, but taken seriously, taken in a mature approach. And so it's just an opening for that, but certainly, again, supporting the relationships, the self-expression, and quite possibly the career as well. So Cancer, the way I would sum up this week is essentially right at the beginning, it's a new moon, subtle energies, listening. There is that square from Venus, so being aware of any reactive energies, but listening to something calling you towards a bit of freedom, all right, and how to implement that slowly. Then as Mercury shifts into that 6th house of yours, I think thinking more about self-improvement, thinking about the work, developing that area. You can be enjoying that area with Venus there. And then after this sort of healing shift, feeling a bit refreshed, maybe about that adventurous spirit of yours, we come into the second half, which is quite motivating, quite inspiring, quite productive and grounded, involving relationships, self-expression, and your career. All right, so Cancers, have a fantastic week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.